Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast. Today, I've got I got three dudes. You can't see one. From a local podcast, three guys that have started their podcast around here, calling themselves, as you can see there, the St. Lunacritics. I got Tyler, I got JJ, and I got Steck. Gentlemen, welcome to YBMcast. Thanks for joining me.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So we're going to talk some Cardinal baseball. This is what these guys do. You talk more than Cardinal baseball, though, right? You do a little football, NBA. What's the gist of the show here?
So it's five of us, and we primarily talk baseball as our best topic. We do have a Cubs fan on there as well.
I can tell.
A nice little rivalry, yeah. But we try and talk about whatever sports are currently going on, as well as a little bit of like movies and TV as well. So,
movies and TV. Tyler, that's got to be your gig right there, right, bro?
Yeah, and Steck and I, we had talked about it a lot, kind of covering movies and TV shows. It all started because I was watching a lot of like Saturday Night Live and just horrible movies, and I was just like, gosh, we could just rip these apart, And next thing you know, we just started a podcast just to rip on the stuff we kept seeing every day, and whether it was the Cardinals making horrible moves or just horrible movies or TV shows we've seen, and we thought we could do better, so we figured, why not just talk about it?
Get it off your chest, man.
We have to.
JJ, how'd you get roped into this, bro?
I don't know. They asked me. They needed.
He's got a lot to say.
They needed a face for the show, so that's why they called me. No, I mean I could sit and talk sports with anybody and everybody, but I enjoy it.
So
I got a lot to say.
How do you guys talk? Do you talk over each other quite a bit? Five dudes trying to talk. I mean, it's got to be. Is it a free for all?
It
can be at times, yeah.
I'd say for sure. I'd say probably us three, myself, Steck, and JJ. I'd say we probably do the majority of the talking. Tony, he does a lot of our production work. He does a lot of the back end work, so he kind of focuses on that more than anything, making sure the whole show is just running smoothly. And then Brandon, he chimes in when he's got a topic he loves. He'll chime in, but it's got to be something he really likes.
So I want to say this because you guys are all local St. Louisans, correct? Right? Did y'all go to high school together?
Yes,
we did.
I went to
Lafayette. So local guys talking Cardinal baseball. So we're going to get into this. And folks, here's the thing too. If you want to check out the St. Lunacritics, you can do it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or Google Podcast. Correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So let's talk. Let's get into this. Right now, as we're recording this, the Cardinals have got a 1-0 lead on the Pirates. Waino seems to be pitching pretty good. But every time I've seen Waino pitch this year, he seems like the only guy that for the Cardinals that has any idea of what he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's the one. I mean, he's 39 years old, and unfortunately, he's the ace of the team right now. Granted, it was very unfortunate that Flaherty had to get hurt. That honestly, I think that may have even just cost us the season. Granted, if he's there, I don't think we're in the lead for the division per se, but I'd say we're a little bit closer in at least the wild card right now. And then you lose Michaelis, you don't have Dakota Hudson, and yeah, unfortunately, you just got to rely on a veteran who. He's not going to go and throw 95 miles per hour, but he knows how to pitch, and he knows how to get outs.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. He has a game plan. He executes that game plan, and he's good at it.
And he can hit.
He can. He can hit. That's for sure. Doesn't need the DH when he's in the lineup.
No. But then, okay, so, all right. I understand injuries. Everybody has to deal with injuries and whatnot. So Flaherty goes down. You'd lost Dakota Hudson. I think that hurt right there. Michaelis, I mean, has been, I think he's DOA anyway. I don't think it would have mattered much if you had Michaelis either way, personally. But without Hudson and without Flaherty, that pitching staff has got no chance. And in my estimation, because of that, the bullpen, you've killed those guys. And then they run somebody out there, and on rest they're okay. But man, they start getting into that, and it's just crazy. They're getting killed.
Yeah, not only
I
that,
think that's
but
exactly right. Go ahead,
then
Josh.
you had KK go down. So KK went down, and then not only do you have to take Gant and Oviedo out of the bullpen to become starters, so then you've thinned out your bullpen, and then what's his name? Our closer's hurt for the year again. Not Reyes. Not Reyes,
Jordan
the other
Hicks.
guy that's been our closer.
Hicks.
Yeah, Jordan Hicks.
Yeah,
So we didn't have
I
him all
forgot
year.
about him.
Yeah. So, yeah, not only – yeah, and then it seems like Waino's the only guy that can go 7 innings as well. Everybody else, if we get 5 out of them, we'll be happy. Yeah, and then it kills your bullpen. And you got Schiltz, who can't manage the bullpen, so you're using Gallegos, Cabrera, and Reyes, what seems like every night, because those are the only 3 guys you can trust. And then, I mean, you put anybody else in the game, it's pretty much a white flag.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, and it's funny, I completely forgot about Carlos Martinez. Forgot he was on the team.
Yeah.
That's how useless he was.
He had that game where he took that no-hitter into the 7th inning and then just fell right off the edge. Like, horrible.
Yeah.
You know what it's like? He's probably started sitting in the dugout going, is it time to get a beer yet?
Yeah, no, that's about it. He couldn't care less. He's happy he's hurt right now.
I mean, because I'm tired, man. You know, I can't throw no more pitches, man. I got to get a beer.
Yeah, that 6.23 ERA is just really weighing on him.
So the other stack, I'm going to get your opinion on this. What do you think is of Schilt? Do you think he's the big league manager for this club? Do you think he really is in over his head? I don't think he's a bad coach in the sense of, you know, maybe a guy that knows baseball, but is he that guy that's going to take this team to a World Series?
I don't think so. I think there has been some bad luck for him. I think the talent is there with this team, but they haven't put it all together at one time. It's either like a couple people are hitting and the rest of them aren't doing anything, or like you said, they wore out the bullpen and we see Reyes come in and walk 3 guys and hit a batter, not even record an out. And I haven't seen enough fire from this team, and I think that starts at the head right there. I don't think Schilt fires him up enough. I don't think he puts enough maybe pressure on them. But I would like to see somebody that gets them excited, gets them ready to play, and I do want to see some enthusiasm out of the players because the talent's there. It's just a matter of what's missing right now.
I agree. This team was picked to win the Central Division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
why
we were
they?
in first place.
Right?
We were in first place at the beginning of the year.
There's no, and I personally don't think there was any reason for this team to fall off the cliff that far. I really don't.
No.
No, I think
and
a
people
big
can say
part
injuries,
was.
but go ahead, Stack.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that big moment was back at the beginning of June. We thought that was a big part of our season when we were playing Pittsburgh, Detroit, Arizona, and Colorado, and we ended up going like 500 in that stretch. And at that point, in my mind, I was saying get rid of Jeff Albert because I think he's a big part of why this team hasn't been as successful as we were hoping at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Tyler, you got?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and I've heard Schultz say it so many times, and frankly, I'm just kind of sick of it. And If you watch his post game interviews, all he says is, "Well, our guys are battling their butts off out there. They're really out there battling." I'm like, no one's questioning the team's effort. It's not like anyone in St. Louis is just sitting there saying, "Yeah, these guys aren't even trying. All right, they don't even do anything." Like, no, but there comes preparation, and then kind of like Steck said, you look at this lineup. There's no way this lineup should be ranked like in the bottom half, 23rd overall in the MLB. There's absolutely no way. Our on base percentage as a team is 307. We're hitting 236 as a team. You've got two guys in your lineup that were, for most of their careers, perennial MVP candidates, and Goldschmidt and Arenado. And now you look at Arenado, and while he's not having a horrible year, him hitting 260, and granted he's leading the team in home runs, I think he could be doing better. I mean, maybe that's a little much. I mean, I love what he does defensively, but I don't think that Tyler O'Neill should have the best average on the team.
I'm okay with that. We need those guys to step up, right?
Yeah, but Tyler O'Neill is I think we said this on Monday, he's a prototypical like 5 or 6 hitter. He's not a cleanup hitter. He's not a 3 hitter. He's a 5 hitter, and he does his job well. But you've got Goldschmidt hitting 2, which honestly, I don't think he should be hitting 2, but with our current roster construction, I understand why they do it.
Okay, well, let's look at this then. And JJ, to you kind of said something. I heard you. Why is Tommy Edmonds not still at the top of the lineup? And putting Dylan Carlson in that 2 spot, right?
And that's what I'm pretty sure that was their lineup last night. I think Edmund led the game off with a homer.
Yeah.
I think that was last night, yeah. Carlson batted 2. I mean, that's the lineup we thought we were going to have all year. And I know in probably June or so, Tommy Edman kind of fell off, and they moved him down to like the 5-6 or the 6 hole and put Carlson at first. And we rode with that lineup for 2.5 months since then, and nothing's really changed. But I do think, talking about Tommy, having him play, coming to the field, not knowing if he's going to play left, right, second base, where he's going to bat in the order, I think that threw him off. I mean, us as players, we like to know where we're playing, where we're batting, you get in that routine. I think that kind of threw him off at the, I guess in June, whenever O'Neill and Bader were hurt.
I agree.
Yeah, I like Edman. I know he doesn't take walks. He likes to go up there and swing the bat. He's not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but he does put the ball in play. He's fast. He knows how to run the bases. And I like seeing him at the leadoff spot.
Guys, tell me what you think of this, okay? And as we just said there, and I thought this was going to be at the beginning. And Tyler, you were saying O'Neill, but if you look at that, if you have Tommy Edman leading off and doing what he does, which I think he can, and you put Carlson that 2, Goldschmidt goes into that 3 with Arenado in 4, and then you have Tyler O'Neill 5, you have Bader 6, Yachty 7, right? Yeah. I mean, that lineup,
I think that would be ideal.
That lineup should be as solid across the board as anybody in the Central, and scoring and averaging runs at least, you should, I think 4. I don't see why you can't average 4 runs a game at that, 5 runs a game. Those guys have that potential. Yes, no?
Yeah, and I think we talked about it Monday. The Cardinals were 26th or 7th in the league in runs scored. I mean, we talk about it all the time. We look at the box score the next day. Oh, Cardinals, they got their 2 runs. It seemed like for 2 months, they'd never scored more than 2 runs. And it's frustrating.
Yeah,
again,
I think that was the
lineup.
month of June.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a joke out of it. Cardinals got their 2 runs.
That's it, yeah. Going back to Edman, I know why the the Cardinals pulled him out of that leadoff spot. And I like him because he puts the ball in play. He goes up to bat and he has an approach. And he was the one guy on the team who called out kind of the coaching staff for saying, this team has no direction or approach or preparation.
That's
when
why I got
comes
demoted.
You know what? I'm sure that ruffled some feathers in the coaching staff. I wouldn't doubt it. But his on-base percentage is .299. And granted, he doesn't have a lot of strikeouts in today's standards. He only has, I believe, 62 strikeouts, but he also doesn't walk.
Yeah.
He's only got 26 walks on the season. And that's a guy who's
he loves swinging
he's
the
right
ball.
up there in at-bats and everything. And I think they look at that and they look at Carlson as the leadoff hitter because he's leading the team in on-base percentage at .340. And granted, he has more strikeouts. He struck out a lot, actually. He struck out 114 times. And, yeah, that's a lot. But he's also, I believe, leading the team in walks with 46. So they just want a guy at the top of the order getting on.
But that's 1-2, though. You got Edmund and I just didn't, sometimes analytics to me get a little too carried away. My opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, and if you put those two back up there, then you also got two switch hitters, the first two batters of your lineup.
That's right. And the potential there, and then you put those two dudes behind them, you got run-producing opportunities. I just don't – I don't know. I'm no big league manager or anything like that. But when you look at things and you see what other teams do and how they do, and I mean, how is Milwaukee winning 65 games? And Tyler and I, we were talking about this the other night. What is their batting, their team batting average?
I'm about to tell you, but off the top of my head, I believe it's 226.
Yeah,
229.
Yeah, but
229.
But they have
three
dynamite
of the top
pitching staff.
6 guys in the ERA.
I get that. I do. I understand, and that's okay. I understand pitching is dominant and things like that, but still, 66, 67 wins, man, and your team batting average is 229.
Yeah.
At some point, there's still that give. I just don't.
Yeah, you need to.
They're figuring a way to get it done. If the Cardinals pitching is a little waning, we're not figuring it out on the offensive side to get it done.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean Milwaukee
agree.
doesn't even have Yelich right now. Well, I mean Yelich that we know, he's not having a good year, and they're still finding a way to score runs.
Stack, jump in there, man.
I was saying, like, I completely agree. Even if you look at, like, the Giants, their hitting stats aren't, their average isn't insane. Like, they're batting around similar to where the Cardinals are at, but they just have timely hitting. And I think the Cardinals' problem is there's only, like, 2 people a night that hit. Every time I look at the box score, it's like 2 people have 3 hits, everyone else has offers.
Nothing.
And it's just hard to manufacture runs that way.
Yeah, because you'll see, Goldschmidt, when is the last time you've seen Goldschmidt, or I don't think we've seen it at all, Goldschmidt and Arenado just being consistent together, doing their thing. Has that been this year?
It's one or the other.
Yeah, it's always one or the other.
Happened all year where they're both clicking.
The only 2 guys that have done that, and they haven't been healthy enough to really, I think, maintain that, has been O'Neill and Bader. And, as much as, you hope, and here's the thing. I know they're not proven commodities, and I know hopefully long term, those guys can stay there. They should. That's the way it should be. I think that's why they kept them on the team and sent all these other dudes packing, right?
100%.
I mean, we can talk.
Yeah.
We can talk about the mistakes.
Don't get JJ going on Bader. Don't get JJ going on Bader.
You don't like the golden locks, baby?
I have my own theory on Bader and O'Neill. And my theory is, so
we got to get the theories out, baby.
You can test it. So, I mean, O'Neill and Bader get hurt, 2-3 times a year?
Yeah.
The last couple of years. And they always come back, and the first 2 weeks they come back, they play like their hair's on fire. They hit the ball out of the park. They're running everywhere, and then nothing until they get hurt, and then they come back, and then they do it again. So, I mean, Bader just came back from an injury and hit like 5 home runs in a week.
Well, but I'm gonna debunk your. I kind of agree with you. That's the thing.
His average is up to like
this
what, 301.
Yeah, this year that hasn't been since they've both been back from injury. They've been pretty consistent, and they've been pretty consistent all year. They haven't had those lulls like they've had in the past, where it's just like Bader's hitting $1.25,
220,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen that, so I can't say that this year.
And he's definitely they both improved from last year, but I mean, they have that 2-week hot streak after they come off, and then I guess they kind of just become their regular average player. I mean, Bader just there for a week or two.
Bader's been pretty good. I saw him the other night. He had a couple of hits and in the game along with O'Neill, and they kind of been producing at more of a consistent level than even Arenado or Goldschmidt, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think our expectations for them is probably a little lower, but yeah, I mean, they're both still very young and they're learning. I mean, last year you could throw a curveball to either one of those guys and they couldn't hit the ball.
But yeah,
I mean, they're definitely improving.
Still 1-0, isn't it? We got 2 on. It looks like, right?
We do, and Bader is up to bat right now.
Let's see.
So I've been waiting.
I'm watching JJ's face, and he keeps turning, trying to talk, and Steck's looking up. He's like, "Don't talk to me, man. I'm writing a game."
A funny thing that we've noticed is, unfortunately, whenever we talk about how bad a player is, they tend to do very well, and then whenever we talk about how good they are, they tend to do very poorly. So it's kind of a catch-22, as Michael Scott would say.
I think we had we had a 5 or 6 week span where it started off with JJ saying that there hasn't been that many no-hitters. And every night that we did our show, there was a no-hitter either that night or the next day.
It was
Guaranteed
5 weeks
every
in a row
week.
or something.
I think it was 5 weeks in a row. We would talk about it. We'd be like, nah, there hasn't been that many. That night or the next day, there was a no-hitter thrown.
Really?
Because we had 7 no-hitters in the first month and a half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before the MLB said, okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah. Hey, go out and check, because they got it always reminds me of Major League. It says I got a little Crisco, a little Vagisil, if I really got some jalapeno juice, just wipe my nose with it and get my nose going.
Yeah.
Yeah, Garrett Cole's. Somebody should introduce him to that movie so he can find another substance.
I mean, that is just one of the greatest scenes ever in baseball movies. I love Major League, though. I ain't got the arm like you, man. I got to put everything on it I can. Well, guys, look.
I will give Schilt some credit. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Stack.
I was going to say, I will give Schilt, some credit for being the one that kind of opened the floodgates on the MLB, taking care of that. So good for him. I know I was a little harsh on him earlier, but I'll give him props where props are due.
So he was given the service on the old doctor in the baseball.
Yeah,
I thought so.
Game
Wasn't he the one that came out?
Yeah, it started when we played the White Sox early on in the season. And I think it was Joe West and his crew, they ejected Gallegos from the game because
they made him change his
said
hat.
that he was, or made him change his hat. And then did Schilt get thrown out of that game?
Yeah, Schilt did.
I thought he did. Yeah, because they made him like change his hat and said he was using a substance and all this and that. And Schilt went into his post game press conference and basically just lit up the
I
league.
remember that. Yeah.
And indirectly basically said, you've got Trevor Bauer out here who is just giving the league the middle finger, telling you that he's cheating, saying it to your face. Yeah, no, I use these substances, and gets a fat contract, and you guys do nothing about it. But you go after my reliever?
Who's using pine tar, not that spider tack or whatever?
Spider tack.
Yeah.
I can't get the ball off my hand.
Yeah. I mean,
How
you
much
look at
do you-
spin rates right now. You know,
Right.
Garrett Cole's average or ERA's gone this way.
Okay. Since then, I saw this the other day, okay? Since then, remember DeGrom was like at some 6.68, and he's since been on the DL. And there was, I think, 2 or 3 other guys that were still under 1 with their ERA, right? Since
Yeah, I
that
think-
time, Walker Buehler has the best ERA in the National League at 2.19, I think, and everybody else is above that. And that's including the guy from Milwaukee that started out big,
Burns?
Burns. Yeah. And, I mean, his ERA was still way down. So you got a lot of guys that all of a sudden the ERAs just – and, I mean, you think about it. That's a pretty good jump from like 0.75 to 2.59.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty
And I think
telling.
that was what Donaldson yelling at Giolito after he hit the home run.
Yeah.
The whole deal.
You guys aren't – oh, man. He struck out, didn't he?
Yeah, Bader did. He struck out.
I just
Great
saw
at
it
bat,
flash.
though. 8-9 pitches. He was battling up there. What a warrior.
Well, but hey, come on
All he had to
now.
do is put the ball in play.
Come on, cut him a little break. That's a quab. Come on. You know there's quality at bats.
Absolutely.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him.
There you
That's
go,
about all you can say about
Stack.
that.
Well, but it's
Runner on
true.
third, less than 2 outs. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. You have to get him in.
All right, go
Bunt.
do it, JJ.
All right. Okay. Oh. Oh. Called out. Now, all you
What was
guys
that?
play. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what was that game? Sunday's game we lost to the Royals. We had bases loaded, nobody outs, and didn't score and lost by a run.
Yeah, I turned it off after that.
Got to get him in. Got to get your runs in.
You know what I went to? I left the game there because, and I'll say this: I love the Cardinals. I enjoy it, whatnot. But Tyler knows this. I grew up a Dodgers fan, and the Dodgers were on that afternoon playing, and I just kind of scooched over to the Dodgers and watched some good baseball.
They're a little more exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing of it was Sunday's game. If you put that, did you see how pitiful they were playing? And what's that play? What was Kisner doing? I mean, he got the guy. I forget who made the throw, but yeah, it was O'Neal. Threw the guy out by like 6 steps. Is
The
a
ball went
flaming.
over his glove from the tag.
Yeah, it's a candy hop, boom, right there, and all you got to do is reach over and kiss the guy. I mean, come on. It was bad baseball on Sunday, and that's what I don't like watching. If you didn't want to show up and play, stay your butt at home, and don't show up. But to me, that's where I saw on Sunday, I didn't see anybody really wanting to play, personally. It's my opinion.
No, that's fine. Yachty will be back next year.
You think so?
I mean, the way
I hope
he's
so.
playing this year, I think he signs another 1-year deal.
You don't think Kisner's ready for it, huh?
No.
I mean,
Kisner's
he's not
not
playing
the
at the same
answer.
level.
We're waiting for Ivan Herrera to come up, but he's too young.
How old is he?
I think he may have just turned like 20.
He's 14.
Yeah. No, I believe he's 20 years old. They said he's probably two to 3 years away, but he's supposed to be our next everyday catcher.
I'm going to ask this question because I get tired of some of this stuff. Either he's a stud or he's not. And, some of these guys, he's 2 or 3 years away. Why? Why is he 2 or 3 years away? You go to college, you get thrust in there. If you're good enough, you play. High school, if you're good enough, you play, right? And I understand there is seasoning, and I know people are going to go, oh, Brian, you don't know nothing about what you're talking about. That's probably true. I don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. But if he's that good, get him up in there. You got Kisner who can't do it. Get him some time behind Yachty while Yachty's still playing. Season the kid. Do it there. I don't understand why you can't do that with a player like that. Personally, that's my opinion. I know why it is. It's money.
I was going to say it comes down to the money and
Contracts.
The control you have over the player. You're starting that MLB clock. It's the same thing the Cubs did with Chris Bryant, and that he was super upset about. He was mad because he thought, wow, I should be on the MLB roster right now. But the Cubs were literally sitting back and saying, no, we want to make sure we have control over you for this many years. And I think that is just so dumb because look how many guys that make it to the MLB, like how many of those guys even really last 6 years and beyond? There's only so many guys in the league that make it even like 10 years. So you're just assuming, oh, well, this guy's just going to be an all-star and I don't want to start that clock right now. Well, how do you know? What if you wait 3 years, bring him up, and he still sucks anyway? Then what? You just wasted all that time thinking this guy was going to be great, and then he's not.
I agree.
And I don't know. I don't understand it. That's one of the things I don't like about it.
Then just be honest and say, we don't want to do this. We're doing it because of the service contracts, and we're going to keep him in the minor leagues because we want more control over him. So that's what it is. But see, that's just too honest. We can't say that.
And then look at the Cubs. They end up trading him anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't even re-sign him. They just get rid of him.
That's what I hate about the whole thing, the hypocrisy of it. We just need him to get more, experience. I remember them bringing dudes up when they were 20. I grew up, it wasn't that way. If you were good enough, you got up there and you played. You saw. I remember Kershaw, 21 years old, man. He's pitching in the major leagues. So please don't tell me that if they can do it, they can do it. It is about the money.
Yeah, and then look at Pujols. He came in when he was 21.
Right?
Granted, he may have been 25. We don't know, but
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Soto was 20 when
Soto's
he came up.
21, 22.
Bryce Harper was like
21, 22.
18, 19.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's not that. I really don't think it's that. I think it's the Cardinals and the way they operate their system. It is about controlling the player as long as possible. Has nothing to do with whether they're ready or not ready. It's a matter of controlling that contract as long as possible. And that's the way they do business. And I believe sometimes it bites them in the butt. And I think it has over the last 5 or 6 years. And then you're sending a Rosarena off. You're sending who else? We're sending
Adolis Garcia.
Patrick Wisdom's having a heck of a year for the Cubs.
Exactly.
I mean, you could say Luke Voigt, but he's been hurt all year.
Yeah,
but he's still. That's the only thing with him. I feel like if he was healthy and he played every day, I think this year if he was healthy the whole season, he probably has 20 home runs. Yeah. But again, we've said it all. The New York Yankees are just a bunch of meatheads, man. They get these huge guys that, Stanton, Judge, Voit, Gallo. I guess you could almost throw Rizzo in there, but Rizzo really doesn't get hurt. That's a guy who's just pretty solid. He's going to play every day.
He is now with the Yankees. No, it's COVID, right?
Well, he's not hurt. Yeah, he's not hurt.
Yeah, he's got
he
COVID
got
right
the
now.
COVID.
I'm sorry. I just shouldn't.
Yeah, they have four DHs on their. I mean, if you throw the Rizzo in there, they have 5 DHs on their team, and you've got to play 3 of them in the outfield.
And it sucks.
Yikes.
And it sucks. They're just not good.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, Tampa Bay. Okay, there's another team that's similar to in the way they do business as Tampa Bay. How's Tampa Bay getting this done? And maybe we ought to look at a few things of the way they do it. And if you're, moving pieces, getting guys up, they don't seem to leave guys in the minors if they can get the job done.
Yeah, they either bring them up
Yeah,
or
they
trade.
bring them up every year, and yeah, they get
They get-
experience.
They have
They
great
do
scouts, too.
great, and then
They trade it for another piece or two here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think
And they have
at
what?
one point this season they had 3 shortstops that were like in the top 100 for the prospect list. It's like you have 3 top 100 prospects at shortstop. So they went ahead and traded one.
And guys, are they
Well,
in
they trade.
are they in first place?
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
I know they were on Monday.
69 and 44. Yeah. I just think there's other teams doing this same thing the Cardinals are doing, only doing it better.
Yeah, and they don't really have any big name. I mean, they had Glass now, who was their big name starting pitcher, but he's out with Tommy John. They traded Blake Snell. I mean, they don't have a. I mean, Rosarena might be their big name player, and he's been in the league for 2.5 years.
Exactly.
I mean, they just go out and get ball players that can play multiple positions. They move them around. They can all hit for contact. I think they have the #1 defense in the league, or they have the last couple of years. And that's how you win ball games.
I think I don't know. I don't think it's the model personally with the Cardinals. Yes, no.
No.
I don't think it's the model, right? Is it maybe then just the people trying to execute and operate that model?
yeah, and this is what frustrates me. I mean, from the time I was born and even before that, like the Dodgers have had the best farm system in baseball every year.
They had it when I
they
was a
trade
kid.
prospects. Right. They trade prospects. I mean, they just traded some of their top prospects to get Scherzer and Trey Turner, and yet they still have a top 10 farm system in baseball. And then every year it seems like they bring up some player, whether it's an outfielder, middle infielder, or something, and you're just like, where did he come from? Why is he hitting 300 right now?
Hey, stop
And
for
then
just a
they either
second,
trade
Tyler.
him-
Hold on. Did
Yeah.
you guys see that 6 slide from Trey Turner yesterday, day before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
that was smooth.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I mean, it's become a meme. It was just like it was effortless. He comes strolling around third base.
It was so effortless.
It was-
Yeah. Slid, got right back up, just walked it off like nothing happened.
Sorry, Tyler. Go ahead. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah. Well, it's not only the prospects, but it seems like their front office does a pretty good job at maybe finessing some other front offices. They gave up less to get Scherzer and Trey Turner than the Blue Jays did to give up or to get Jose Barrios.
Yeah.
And people were questioning that. They're like, why did the Blue Jays just give up some of their top prospects to get this? I mean, he's a good pitcher, but then you look across the table and the Dodgers are sitting there like, yeah, we just got Scherzer and pretty much the best shortstop in the NL right now. And we
He's
didn't
playing
even give up as
second
much
base.
as you. Yeah.
And,
And
not to mention, they still got Gavin Lux sitting there behind him.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
their
and I
plan
mean-
right now ultimately is to give up. They'll let Seager walk, move Gavin or move Trey or Gavin over to shortstop, and then that's going to be their middle infield.
If you
But
wanna
then
say-
they'll
Yeah.
just recycle some new prospects in and go from there.
it's funny though.
Must be nice.
Yeah, Corey Seager. And I said this. We've talked about this. I think he gets hurt too much. But man, since he's been back off the DL, I think he's sensing that because he's swinging the bat. He's getting back in. He's getting back in rhythm pretty quick because, like, hey, I just got back from the DL and Trey Turner's here, and I wait a minute.
I mean, I will take Seager over to Jong any day.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about a World
100%.
Series MVP.
Bring it.
Yeah.
And
I'd love to see
what he
that.
did in the playoffs last year was unbelievable.
Oh, he was just on fire.
He couldn't
whole-
miss.
No. I mean, Corey Seager he's just that good. He is that good.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're gonna change up. We're gonna talk a little youth baseball Midwest stuff that I deal with because all y'all played youth baseball, right?
Correct.
Back in the Stone Age.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Before there were select teams.
Okay, now there you go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. See, but you know what? There were select teams back then. Because a select team, we're talking, it's more called travel ball than select. Because select is an old word. It went out of style about 5 years ago. It's travel ball.
Well, when
Or
everyone's
we
a
could
select
say-
team, then nobody is.
Yeah, maybe even I would even say maybe the term has changed to club ball. Maybe.
Yeah, most assuredly. Yes. Club ball.
'Cause, I
What
mean,
do
we
you-
didn't have any clubs back then.
Yeah, you did. Come on. The prospects were around, right?
I was gonna say when
That
we were
was
playing,
like
it was
maybe
us. It was
8th grade.
Yeah,
High
that was
school.
it was mainly us playing in leagues, and then you heard about the prospects.
Uh-huh.
And then going like into high school, that's when like the gamers came about.
Yeah.
And I mean, aside from like the prospects were the big name, and if you were playing for them,
And that
it was
wasn't
it was a
until-
big deal.
But that was
Yeah, I
maybe
mean, we
what,
were 7th, 8th grade. Yeah,
yeah.
So you're talking what? 07?
no,
No,
05,
04,
06.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
04, 05.
04, 05. Okay. All right. So,
So, I mean,
as you look at this landscape, what do you guys think about this? Give me your thoughts on it.
JJ, you go first.
yeah. I
Don't-
mean,
Don't hurt yourself, bro.
to each their own. I mean, when we grew up, I mean, we basically played with kids in the entire St. Louis County area, and we were all in one league. We played in the National Blue Division at, I mean, most of our games were at, Chesterfield. Almost all of them were at Chesterfield.
I was gonna say, well,
by
like
then.
every team kind of picked their home park, really.
Yeah.
So like our team, we played out of Creve Coeur. Some teams played out of Ellisville, Chesterfield, Manchester. It was up to that team who they wanted to play with.
Yeah, but it was one league. Everybody played everybody. We didn't. I mean, we might go on like a tournament in June, but it was either state. You know, we had the YBA World Series, maybe some other sort of USSSA World Series. I mean, but we didn't really ever travel except for maybe once a year. But you got all these kids who are. I mean, these parents are paying. I don't know how much it is anymore. A couple $1,000 for their 7-year-old to go play on a travel team. I mean, your kid can barely even throw the ball over the plate. What are you doing?
There's some.
If you got that money, then good for you. But I mean, your 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid isn't going to learn how to play the game by you spending $7,000. But then again, if that's all that's out there, I mean, I don't know what the landscape looks like anymore. I mean, can you still just go sign up and play wherever you want?
There's leagues. There's still the recreational baseball as far as leagues or associations. There's still a lot of stuff out there.
Are those at least competitive though, or is that just like, hey, I
It depends.
need to get my kid out of the house?
I think some of it is a need to get the kid out of the house. I think Chesterfield still has a pretty good league over there, competing wise. But for the most part, it has gone club ball, and tournaments are the thing to do. But as you said, even at that, a lot of the younger teams, unless the coach really feels like he's got a good quality team, most of them stay in the local area. I mean, we have a sponsor. And I should say that YBMcast is always powered by Game 7 Baseball. And we go out with Game 7 Baseball, and we do a lot of video and talk to the kids. We have a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's different. It is. And what you said, JJ, it's a lot different than what it was when you were growing up. It really is, man. So it's just...
I'd say when we were playing, too, there was a lot of... I liked the leagues because we all knew each other. And it wasn't just like... Yeah, we were all friends, but we all played on different teams. And we had some really good teams in our league. And there were a lot of rivalries there. I mean, I know our team and JJ's team, we were big rivals. I mean, we wanted to just absolutely whoop each other every time we played. And I had class with JJ the next day in 4th grade, and there's a bunch of smack talk going on. And then those rivalries moved on when we went to high school. So all those kids that we were playing went on to these, other high schools, Parkway South, Eureka, Marquette, whatever. But all those kids are still playing together because they were all playing on the same type of teams together. And then finally, we all got to play together at Lafayette. And it's just like, oh, man, remember this guy from this team and this guy from this team? Oh, yeah, we got to whoop them. So those rivalries lasted from, 2nd, 3rd grade until end of senior year. So I think there was a little more, I don't know, it just made it more fun and like personal for all of us, where from what we heard from a lot of our friends who played on those travel ball teams, we had guys switch over from like prospects and everything in high school, and they came over just to play Legion with us. And a lot of those guys said, well, this is the most fun I've had playing. They go, this is way better than just traveling every weekend and going and playing in tournaments. Like I get to kind of just be at home, enjoy that time. And I like playing in a league where we're constantly playing for something and playing for bragging rights, instead of just like, we played in this tournament and we came in second. And, who'd you guys play? Oh, I don't know, some team from like Minnesota and this other team from Cleveland. And, oh, okay, cool. Like, that was it.
Now that's some perspective right there. I'm here to tell you. Stack, how about yourself, man? Any thoughts on this?
I mean, just to touch on Tyler's point, I think that was spot on. Like, I got weird enjoyment out of like beating my friend Ben's team and watching his coach make him run like pole to pole afterwards, knowing he was going to come over later, and I could just, give him an earful when he got there about how bad we beat him and how did he enjoy running the sprints. But in terms of like, travel ball and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't as that dedicated to it. I liked to just kind of have fun and do my own thing. All I keep thinking about is that South Park episode where the kids are like intentionally trying to lose. And it does, I feel like some of these kids would get burnt out too early before they've even reached their peak if they start that young. To where it doesn't become fun to them. I mean, who knows when you hit a growth spurt or anything, your position, their whole way you play changes. So I think at that young age, it's a little, it could be harmful to a point. And when you enter that much money into it, it becomes political when it comes to like playing time, parents, stuff like that.
And it does. It depends on the clubs, because there's some good clubs, and as always, there's a mix. And this is what we've always talked about. And we do our podcast on, and I got my buddy Mitch Thomas. He's over from the Hitting Zone. He has his own programs, and he does instruction and things like that. But he's open, honest, talks about these things. We have this conversation a lot about where is that next step? What is created? And you're right. And I said this in when we were recording the podcast yesterday. I said, we've created all this. This is on the show from yesterday. I said we've created all this, so we have to deal with it. It's where it is. It's baseball today. And let me ask you guys.
I think it'll be a great experience for the kids. Like, no doubt, those will be things that they'll remember for the rest of their life, like traveling to different cities and playing in tournaments. So it's not all bad. I didn't mean it to come out that way.
No. I want people's opinion. No, you're fine. Say what you want and stick with it, bro. That's the way we roll. That's the way I am, and I'm in the thick of it. We're right in there. We do a lot of stuff. We're getting ready to roll out our winter workout tour, and what we do is we go to clubs through the winter and see what they're doing through the winter to prepare kids for the upcoming season. I enjoy the heck out of it. I personally like the clubs. I think that it gives an opportunity for kids to, because in the wintertime, if you're really looking to develop, but this is where it goes a little crazy too at times. Because as you said, and I think Tyler said this, JJ, you guys, all of you said this a little bit, how young is it? And there still has to be that place where I talk about it, man, if you're playing up to your 12, just it better be fun. It needs to be some enjoyment. If you want to travel, go travel. Great, fine. And do that. Have fun, but make sure it's enjoyable for the kids, because I think Steck said this, how quickly do the kids get burnt out?
Yeah. If you're playing 100 games a year, I don't know how many they play, but let's say even 60 to 100 games a year at 10 years old, I mean, that's all you do for the entire summer. Yeah, you're going to get burnt out in a couple of years.
I'll give you a little highlight here, JJ. I went with a team to Cooperstown, Dreams Park, in 2008. I was umpiring. They have to bring their own umpire, okay? So I went with them. They paid my way, and I had a great time. It was really fun. Get to the championship game, okay? It's a team out of Miami, Team Miami, playing a team out of Henderson, Nevada, okay? The team out of Miami, this is in 08, they're flying kids. This is 12U. Remember, Dreams Park is 12U. They're flying kids in to play in different games here and there, all right? They announced the record of this Team Miami in June. I mean, this is early June, okay?
Yeah.
Want to venture a guess at their record?
I'm going to go probably, 40, 50, and 10 or something?
116-0.
Oh, my.
What?
I almost fell out of the bleachers. I'm not kidding.
Is that like
I'm not kidding.
Career record, or there's no way that's one season?
Florida, they play all year. They play all year. They're out of Miami.
Yeah, I know.
That was
in
in June.
Gosh.
I mean, that's almost every day.
116-0, man. I dropped it sticks in my mind today. That was 2008. And that is etched in my brain. And guess what? They lost 2-1 to that Henderson, Nevada team. Kid that was pitching for Henderson, Nevada, threw a gem and hit a 2-run bomb in like the 5th inning that sailed over my head, Oppo, and because the fence is there at
Yeah, they're pretty short, aren't
Cooperstown, it's 200 feet. 200 feet, 12U, which still, but then to give you a little perspective, the grandstand goes up in the outfield about 15 rows, okay, up. He hit it out of the stadium, dude.
Oh, man.
they? Wow.
At 12U, he probably hit that ball 325.
And his name was
And,
Shohei Ohtani.
Kind of speaking to the 116-0. Granted, I know they're playing year round and stuff, but especially at that age and even younger, I just still feel like it's important to also play other sports.
Yeah.
Because I know by the time August came around and like September, I may have played in a fall ball league or played a tournament here and there just to kind of round up the season. But I was also getting ready for basketball. because I was ready to play basketball. And I think it's important, especially at such a young age, to kind of play some other sports. I mean, it's only going to help you. I played basketball a lot because, one, I like basketball. Two, it was going to keep me in shape all winter.
Right.
I was going to be doing so much running. I mean, that whole sport is running, so you're constantly doing that. But if all I did was play baseball, I just feel like I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like I'd be burnt out at a pretty young age. And then it's almost like it's a job for you when you're 12, 13 years old. Well, we got to go to the cage. We got to do this. We got to do that. It's like, I kind of just want to shoot some hoops.
Yeah.
But so
I
whatever
think
it is,
that's
football,
completely right.
basketball, soccer, like I feel like it's important to kind of just take a step back, look at some other things, and those other sports will help you in baseball. It may not seem like it, but me running all the time, lateral movement, things like that, just my footwork, that's going to help me fielding ground balls in the outfield, whatever it may be. So I just think that's important. You got to keep an open mind and maybe try out some other things aside from just one sport.
Here's the thing, and there's a lot of high school coaches that agree with that sentiment. I've talked to a lot of high school coaches, and for the most part, they all say the same thing. Yeah, go. High school baseball coaches say, go play another sport. It's fine. Go do it. And I think it goes to the thought process of parents having conversations, not pushing the kid, but understanding what's best. What are you going to do long term? If the kid comes out and goes, you know what, I really don't want to play basketball. Well, okay, then do you want to do that? Yes, I'd rather do this. That's okay too. And I think this is where the conversations need to go. And I just don't think parents do that. They either go one way or the other. All these extremes in these situations, rather than talking to the kid and go, do you really want to play basketball? Instead of, hey, you're going to go play basketball, or you're not, you're going to stick with baseball, you're going to play football, you're going to do you even like the sport?
And see, that's what I was saying too. Like, I like basketball. I wanted to play basketball. Like, my parents didn't have to force me to do that. It was like, no, I'm going to go try out for the basketball team. Like, I really want to play. They didn't catch me on the football field. I can tell you that. I wasn't about that life. But yeah, no, that's definitely important. I mean, if you don't like another sport and okay, that's fine. If you really just want to work on baseball in the off season, great.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Don't overdo it at the same time.
But I agree with you in the fact that some of these other sports can give you a physical edge, can help with other parts, and especially, honestly, I'm here to say this: if you don't really like to train in the sense of getting in the gym every day, doing all that and whatnot, if you go and play another sport, I mean, it can help you in other ways that with muscle tone and muscles that you may not use in this sport, but you use in this sport. But all creates a good solid core of strength in your body that'll help you with any sports you're playing.
Yeah, and I wrestled in high school, which was a winter sport. So I came out of that straight into baseball, and it's probably the best shape I've been in my life. Right before baseball season was perfect. Other than the occasional cutting weight, but
Were you pumped up and hitting bombs, JJ?
Hey, wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
What weight class were you in, JJ?
What year?
Oh man, that ain't right. That ain't right, bro.
What weight class were you in?
What year?
Freshman year.
Let's see. Freshman year, I wrestled at the 95-pound weight class.
I can see that. I don't think I was more than 95 pounds as a freshman either, man. So don't sweat it.
Well, and then by my
I weighed
junior
95
year,
pounds in third grade.
By my junior year, I had gained 50 pounds and grew 10 inches.
See, there it is, right there. Did you ever have to do that peg thing that I've seen on that? They have the wall with the pegs where you have to walk that peg up.
Yeah, I could never do that.
Yeah, I could never make it past like 2.
I definitely couldn't do it now, man. I'm too fat.
Off my feet.
That's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never able to do that.
I tell you, and I agree. Wrestling is one of those sports because I had a buddy when I was in high school playing football named Jim Gressley. He was the #1 wrestler in his weight class in the state of Arizona, okay? Played middle linebacker in football, and our lockers next to we were buddies, and he come in one time, we were messing around, and he grabbed me. And honestly, I've never been grabbed like that ever in my life. I thought I was going to die. He was squeezing the life, and I couldn't even move his finger. I mean, wrestlers are brutally strong, dude. Brutally strong. So that's a good one right there if you want to get pump it up, walk around the diamond doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, like the condition, even just the conditioning from it was, I mean, I know you don't really need to be in that great of condition to play baseball, but I mean, it was probably the best shape I'd ever been in.
You have to be in shape to play baseball. All this stuff. That's why these guys are getting. Come on, man.
Hey, Bartolo Colon is still killing it.
Yeah, David Walls has a bone to pick with you.
Yeah.
Anomalies. Those are anomalies. they're donut anomalies.
Yeah. Well,
beer and donuts.
Well, you could go to the opposite side of that spectrum and say, look at the Yankees. Look at all those big old guys. They can't even stay on the field.
That's true, man. It's true. Guys,
more muscles you have, yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation. We're gonna let you go for today. Love to have you back. Chat up some more Cardinal baseball. Throw some stuff out if you're willing. And
yeah, absolutely.
Remember, folks,
appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure. If you're looking for a podcast talking Cardinal baseball, talking sports in general, you guys talk a little. I'm sure you're talking some Blues hockey too, right?
Yeah,
and Kraken.
We sneak it in there.
What?
Diehard Kraken fans.
They're about to take over the league.
Did they trade Tarasenko yet?
No, not yet.
No.
Are they going to?
I doubt it. I don't think anybody wants to put that contract on their books.
There you go.
Sure.
All right. St. Lunacritics on spot. I said that. St. Lunacritics. That's too hard to say, guys. No, I didn't. almost blew a booger out of my nose saying it. That's what's terrible. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Go check them out. That's what it looks like there. St. Lunacritics. You see that? I don't know who's the Cub fan there.
Tony.
That's Tony.
How did you allow him to put that bear on that bat? I mean, honestly, guys.
That wasn't him,
man.
actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I drew the logo. I wanted everyone to be included, so that's on me. That's my bad, guys.
Hey, I appreciate you showing the love, being inclusive,
Yeah.
Right on, bro. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks to Steck, Tyler, and JJ for being here through the show, talking. Hope you enjoyed it. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. And all you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. And you hitters, hit them where they ain't, because that's good advice. We'll see you next time.